Hey guys, so what we're going to be making today is a mortise and tenon joint. So you can see here on the screen that we put it together. It's a little bit of a variant on a traditional mortise and tenon. Normally you wouldn't actually have that dowel locking it in, but that's something I like to add in to make it a little bit more secure, as well as makes it look a little bit nicer when you're using it on a piece of furniture. So let's get into it. So new, up here, standard millimeters, create. And just like the dowel joint, I'm probably going to start off with the easiest part, and that's actually going to be the dowel that we use to lock it together. So if we go up top left and left click on Start 2D Sketch, and then we're selecting the XZ plane and rotating that top around. So we're just going to make a circle. 9.5 traditional dowel size, well traditionally the dowel sizes we use. 3D model, extrude, and we're going to extrude that, and we're going to extrude that the size of the timber, which is going to be 19 millimeters. So we're still going to be using the 70 by 19 stock material. So last thing we're going to do, tools, materials, and we're going to make this oak again and assign that. Sweet, save. And you can see here we've got our different videos that we're going to be making coming up. So opening this one up and naming this dowel and save. Alright, so then we're making a new piece. Now we're going to decide if we're going to make our mortise or our tenon first. Now traditionally when you make this in person, you actually make the mortise first. So that's what I'm going to do also, and then you make the tenon to fit the mortise. So starting here, we start off with making our stock material. So make it 70, tab 19, enter. You can see here we've got that, so right click and go OK. Then we can extrude this out to be our stock length that we want to use, so 250. So just like cutting this with a saw, we've got our material ready to then start shaping as we want it. So we're making the mortise. The mortise is actually the hole, the hole that the other piece goes into. So if I left click on this and go across to the fifth option and go create sketch. Now there's actually a really easy way to do this, and we're going to go offset. No, we're not, sorry. We're going to go rectangle, and we're just going to trace our rectangle that we've got on our edge. Right click OK. Then we're going to use the offset feature, and we can click on that and we can bring it in 5 millimeters. Okay, so it's got a 5 millimeter groove all the way around. Right click OK, and then we just need to cut this out. So if we go 3D model, extrude, and then we need to use the cut feature, and we're going to change this to 60 millimeters. And we're going to cut that in 60 millimeters and go OK. So now we've got our mortise set. Now the only other thing we can do is actually get set our hole that we're going to cut. So we're left clicking on here and go create sketch. And you can actually, the beauty of this program is you can actually touch the inside parts of the hole that we've made, just there like that. So now if I go rectangle and I can find the corner, and I should be able to, that's already 60, and we make that 60, and that's the size of the inside section that we've cut out. So then all I need to do is make a line from this side to that side. Why wouldn't it let me do that? That side to that side. Alright, let's try from the other way, see if it's just doing something weird on me. Nope, it just doesn't like me. Okay, so easy enough though. We can actually delete, what we'll do, delete that. Let's make a line, and actually do it from here, and we can go down to there. Right click OK. So you don't even need to make that rectangle. We've got our line set up there. So now we know it's in the middle. When we find the middle, just like that, it'll go green on us. Aim that 9.5. Enter. Right click OK. I just wanted to make that rectangle shape, square, around, just to give you a little bit more of an idea of what I was doing. But now we've got that there, we can go 3D model. Actually, we could delete that line as well. Extrude, and we can cut that through the middle just like that. So now we've got that all set. Last thing we can actually do is set our material. So if we go radiator, and we're going to select our radiator pine again, and press save. See here we've got that. I'm going to call this mortise and save that. Now we go top left again, and we're going to go new, metric, standard millimeters, create. So let's now make the tenon. Create our sketch. and then create our stock material again. So just using the rectangle tool, making sure that goes green, selecting in the middle there, 70, tab 19, enter. Right click OK, and we're going to extrude this at 250 again. Alright, and we've got our stock piece of material ready. So now we need to cut out our mortise on our tenon, on the end. So it's the same actually process that's really easy to do, and this is why I like this process, because it's actually it's interchangeable. 5. Okay, but instead of cutting out that middle part, now we can cut out this edge to leave us with a protruding section that will go into our mortise. So now if I go 3D model, extrude, we want to make sure we select cut. I'm going to change this to 60, and we can select that and go OK. So now it's cut out perfectly our tenon. So now last thing we can do as well, if I left click on this piece and go start new sketch, annoyingly move this down a little bit, and we can add that same line feature we did before, so we can find the middle easier without having to do any dimensioning. There we go, and we'll find our middle, 9.5, enter. Alright, and then we can just delete this line. Press Control Z actually. The reason I do delete that line, so if I go extrude, you can see here that it cuts our circle in half, which isn't too bad. Like you can just click both sides and still cut it, but I just like to do it once. It's same as one click, but I guess I'm doing one more click to delete it anyway. We've got that piece there. Now we go to Tools, Materials, and let's make that a pine, and press Save. I'm going to call this Tenon. So now we've got our mortise, our tenon, and we've got our locking dowel. So if we now go up to New, we can actually assemble these together. Standard millimeters IAM, so that's our assembly file again, and we go Create. So now we're going to decide what we want to do first. Like I said as well, traditionally what we're doing is actually making the mortise first when we make this in person. So I'm going to use this as our piece that we lock in place. Right click, OK. So then again, like we did with the dowel video, we've got our different planes that we want to constrain this to, or mate this to, I should say. You can see there it says mate. So we're going to mate this side and go apply, and we're going to mate the end and go OK. So now we've got that set up, ready to go. We've got our hole and we've got our mortise set as well. I'm just realizing that I've made a little bit of a mistake, and one of the beauties of this is we can change this. So you can see here, if I have these both connecting, and they just make a straight line and not an L shape. So if I go back over here, I can actually edit it. I'm going to quickly delete that. Okay, and we'll delete that. Okay, and this is super easy to do. Same processes on the end in terms of making a rectangle. And where are we? There we go. And we want that 19, tab 70. Okay, so we've got our form-fitted piece there. Offset that, and we'll offset it 5. Okay, 3D model, extrude, and we need to cut that 60. Okay, and then again, left clicking on there, sketch, and we can still find our pieces. So if we go line, is it going to let me snap to it? Yes, it is. And snap to there. Right click, OK. Circle, 9.5, done. 3D model, extrude, and we're going to cut that one out. So now we've got that all set again. So I save that from my mistake. Now we're going to be making that L shape again. And you see here, because I saved that, it changes it on our assembly as well, and it's all still locked in place. You can see there my two mates are still ready to go. So now the next part we're going to do, just like if we're making this in person, we're going to place our tenon. Open this, and you see again, just like with the dowel joint that we made last week, I need to rotate this. So if I right click, I'm going to rotate this on the Z axis a couple times. It's going to spin it around so it's facing the right way. So I press OK, and it's all ready to go. You see there that it's not actually lined up at all, but it is kind of the right way, which actually does help in the assembly. Sometimes it'll do weird things if you don't do this. So now I just need to constrain. I can constrain the inside of that face and then rotate this around because I want that face to be mated to that one, and go apply. I could also say mate this face here, and then rotate this a little bit and then constrain that to that one there. And then the last thing I need to do is actually say, so it's kind of like I did with the dowel joint in terms of doing the flushing. So I've said I want those two to be in contact with each other, and then the last thing I could do is just constrain those two edges to make it go in. We can double check our measurements by seeing if that hole's there perfectly in the middle as well. So now if I right click and cancel that, we're going to place our dowel in. Open that up. We need to rotate this on our y-axis. Oh no, we don't. Z-axis first. And as I rotate on the y-axis, see there it's turned to the right way anyway. Right click and go OK. Now, just like with our last video, we're putting dowels in, applying it like that. But this time we don't have to do an offset. We can just use the flush tool, because I'm going to flush that with that and go OK. So now we've got our mortise with locking dowel all set together, so we can save that. Assembly 1, save it in a different folder so we know that we're not going to get confused there, and press save. Now we need to do our presentation view, so standard millimeters IPN, that's our presentation view. Opening this one up, open that up, and we've got this set ready to go. Now just like if this was like in real life, we'd have to take the pin out first to make it work. So right clicking on that, tweak component, let's drag it out negative 50. Alright, but now that's out, we can drag our other piece out as well. Left click on that, right click, tweak component, and moving that out, and we'll move that out negative 90. Alright, cool. So now that looks quite good. So I can actually turn this into a drawing. Hopefully you guys didn't hear my cat going crazy then in the background. Save that, and we're going to save that as presentation assembly. Seriously, there we go. And save that in there. Now moving on to our final part, which is our drawing. So going down here to ISO DWG, create. Alright, base. Okay, and it's going to come up with again with our presentation view, which actually I'm going to keep it like that. That was good. And then go OK. Oh, again, I forgot to add color, just like with the last video. And then we're going to base, and we're going to add in our other assembly. Nice, and we'll add that down there. Cool. Alright, so we've got those, so you can see how it goes together. And go OK. So now we need to add our base parts in. So we're going to add our mortise, our tenon, and our dowel. So mortise first. Whoops. That can go that way. Rotate around. Change that to 2. Okay. So we've got that set up there. I did not move it in the right spot. Or add the other piece. Okay, so we've got those two set. Yep, that'll probably do it okay. Base, and let's add in the tenon. Open that. Rotate it around. Let's get that lined up appropriately with the other one. And I would actually like to move that down a little bit. Okay, and then adding in our final piece is our little dowel that we have. Again, I know I said it in the other video as well, but trying to make sure you keep this in perspective. The reason as well, I think I didn't mention previously why this doesn't have a chamfer on the ends, is because it is only 19 millimeters long, and so traditionally you're going to put that in with glue, and then you're going to cut the ends off so it does look like this within the piece. Now if we go to annotate, and let's add our center lines in. So on our circles, on our side profile as well as these circles over here. Nice. Alright, cool. So now we've done that, we can actually also add a center line here for that circle, and we need to add another one for this circle. Cool. Alright, now we've got that all set up, let's add our dimensions in. So using the dimension tool, like usual, adding our overall sizes in. Adding the size of our mortise in. Adding the that there, and then using this center line over here, I can actually add how far it's coming in. I can then do the same thing down here as well. Making sure that I'm adding in all the dimensions that I think we need to be successful. Don't need that measurement because it's lined up there. Let's add. Let me do. Oh, sorry, I've gone off dimension. Okay. So you can see there, and hopefully that's not too confusing for you people, because one's showing the 60 millimeters from the edge, the other one's showing the 75 from the. It's because it's 70 millimeter material. So hopefully that helps people understand that. Let's add our dimensions in. One thing I haven't added over here is actually the size of. I've added the size there, but I haven't added the size over here. Alright, so we know that's 9.5. We haven't actually put anywhere the width of the material. Why are you being annoying? There we go. Okay, got that set up. Now let's do the final sizes of our dowel. Alright, and I think that is all set. So now we've got that all set. We could add in our title, like I showed you how to do last time as well. Tenon. Sweet. Highlight that. Let's make that 15. Okay. You see there that's a little bit too big. One thing we need to alter from that then is actually making this a little bit bigger so it fits nicer onto our page. So you can actually take that quite close. Not quite that close. One other thing that I need to do on that to make it look a lot better is actually make that centered like that. Fantastic. So now we've got that all set up, and I think we've got all of the measurements that we need. Hopefully people will find out if I have missed anything, they'll let me know. We go File, iProperties, and let's do the final iProperties for this as well. Mortise and Tennon. Alright, so we've named that. Subject is furniture construction. Author is me. Somehow managed myself. Cool, and the school. Cool. Just going to highlight that again because we do use that over this side for our vendor and for our cost center. 70 cents again for that. Alright, and then it's just a lot of writing my name a bit. Project. Skills task, revision number 1, description. Oh god, I'm going to copy and paste that. Because that's probably the best description we've got. 1. Copy my name again because it used a lot in the status as well. Released. Alright, and then I'm the one checking these things, so we can tick those off. and go OK, and it fills in our title block down there. So we can save this. Make sure you name it correctly so nothing gets confused. Save that. Okay, so that's just saying that's going to save it with all its dependents that we've got down there. And then finally, export PDF, so we'll have a nice PDF version of this drawing as well. Alright, so now we've had our warm-up one with the dowel. This has only taken 20-ish minutes. Hopefully this has been able to help you create something nice like this. Hope you look forward to the next video.